So let's talk about the poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which is written by Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou is a powerful feminist writer of Afro-American ethnicity. She is a widely acclaimed author, poet, and civil rights activist who worked closely with Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. Maya Angelou had an extremely traumatic childhood, and her poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, written in 1969, which is approximately 53 years back, tells of her life up to the age of 17. It is this poem that brought her international acclaim and recognition. The bird in the cage is a symbol of all African Americans and their fight for freedom. It symbolizes the struggle of being a black author whose words are not heard, and of one who longs for freedom. Think of the lines grave of dreams, nightmare scream, and compare the liberty of the freed bird with that of the shackled caged one. Okay, so Maya Angelou, she was a poet, she was a powerful feminist, and she belonged to the Afro-American ethnicity, means she was an Afro-American. Understood? She had a very bad experience till the age of 17, very traumatic experience. So, at that point of time, the Afro-American people, they were being used as slaves, where in America. And they were used by whom? কারা তাদের ইউজ করতো? White Americans. ওদের slave হিসাবে ইউজ করতো. So slave is nothing but that point of time they had something, some kind of concept where they used to pay money and they used to buy them as slaves. So what they used to give them food only for them, which is necessary for them to survive. Till that much food, which might not be sufficient for their stomach, but I have to make them work for me, so I will give them that much food only which is required for them to be alive. So can you understand the agony, the kind of mental torture, the kind of pressure they went through? And above all, they had to work day and night, and they were not regarded in the society. They were looked down, and they were treated as how slaves used to be. And that was a very bad scenario. And she was the one who wrote about all these things, and she longed means she wanted freedom from all these things. So that is the that is the poem all about. So let's read the poem and find out how it goes on from here. A free bird leaves. So we'll have to keep this in mind. Free bird. Who is a free bird?
Janta.
Free bird is white Americans. Understood? So a free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. So that means here, try and understand the flip side of this stanza. A free bird is not nobody but the white Americans. Leaps. So what do they do? For a bird to leap, what it has to do? It has to jump. So when a flight takes off, have you seen flight taking off? It continues running and then it takes off, right? So it needs a little bit space to maneuver to complete its takeoff, right? So on the back of the wind and floats downstream, so it keeps on floating, keeps on going till the current ends, till the gush ends, and dips its wings. So it dips its wings. Just think about a bird. To fly, it takes off, it flaps its wings, and it needs some space, and then it takes off. And which way it goes? Wherever the wind is, wind's direction is whichever way it floats or it goes in that direction, right? In the orange sun rays, so orange sun here is nothing but the prosperity or the positive thing. I will explain you how it is getting related to the white Americans and dares to claim the sky. So after the bird takes off, it has the sun with it, which is the symbol of prosperity or happiness. It can claim the entire sky, because for a bird to see this when it's on top of the sky or when it's on top, it can claim each and everything here, right? It can see everything from a top view. So for it claims the sky, means whatever is there in the sky or whatever it sees down, it can claim it in a broader sense. Now try and understand. And white American, जिसके पास बहुत सारा पॉसिबिलिटी है, जिसको कोई रोक के नहीं रखा है, it's a free bird. Try and understand. It's a free bird, which is free from any kind of bonds. It is free to take off whenever it wants. Means the Americans can do whatever they want. They have the space to go around. They are free in their country. They are not being tortured upon. So for them, they can easily go with the wind. It's very easy for them to survive, right? But on the flip side, do you think it's easy for an Afro-American to be? Is it easy? Because they are the slaves. They will have to abide by the thoughts of their masters. They will have to fulfill the wishes of their masters. They will have to get tortured, right? So that is what is differentiating between the free bird and the caged bird. Now the second stanza, if you see, but a bird that stalks down his narrow cage. Now what a bird? Now a slave is always, he's bounded or she's bounded. Can she do whatever she wants to do? कर सकता है she or he is a slave. Slave, you understand, no? बंदी बना के जिसको रखते हैं. Can he do whatever he likes? He will have to do whatever the master wishes him to do. So does he have the same kind of opportunity what the white Americans have? He doesn't have. उसके पास, तुम्हारे पास बहुत सारे opportunity है. और कोई केज के अंदर है, एक बर्ड जो केज के अंदर, वो टेक ऑफ कर पाएगा विंग फ्लैप करके? नहीं कर पाएगा. कैन ही गो टू द स्काई? कैन ही फ्लाई एंड क्लेम द स्काई? व्हाई डू यू थिंक ही कांट क्लेम द स्काई? व्हाई कांट ही फ्लाई? व्हाई? Because he is locked in a cage. He is not given the opportunity to fly. He has been tied. His legs are tied. He cannot spread his wings because there is no space for him. So obviously you are not giving me the opportunity, so how am I supposed to fly? That shows the very cruel society of that era in 20s or 19th century, how it used to work. That Afro-Americans used to be treated as dirts, as slaves, and white Americans were their masters. So the masters were given all the opportunities, they were given everything the best, they did not have to answer anyone, they were not getting tortured. But on the other hand, the Afro-Americans were tortured, they had to fight for their freedom, they could not talk also properly. Because why? Because of their skin color and because they were different. And that is the reason, if you keep one bird in cage, tying its legs, not allowing it to fly, what will happen? Don't you think it will become angry? Isn't it obvious for that bird to show rage? Understood? So the poet is very nicely comparing one free bird and one caged bird, and that way she is showing us the reality of that society where the white Americans used to be the masters and the Afro-Americans used to be the slaves. Understood? Clear? Okay. The caged bird can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied. So he opens his throat to sing. So what does he do? I'm tying your legs. The bird's legs are tied. He cannot fly. It cannot fly. It doesn't have enough space. So what does it have to show its pain? Only its throat to sing. So he is singing, or it is singing. Understood? Why he is singing? Because he is in deep pain. His legs are tied. Though he has wings, but he can't fly because it seems like those are clipped, means snapped, means chopped. But in literal sense, it's not chopped. Why do you think it's saying that it's chopped? Because he can't spread his wings. It's the cage is so narrow. It cannot take off. So what is the point of giving wings when you cannot use them? So it's like clipped, or rather it's like snapped. The similar way, the Afro-Americans who has lot of potential, they are not given equal opportunities. They are always being suppressed. They are being tortured. So what will happen? Though I have the ability, but I can't perform. So what is the point of my ability? Do you think I'll be happy with all these abilities? I will not be happy. Nobody will be happy. So he opens his throat to sing. तो उसके लिए वो क्या करता है? गाना गाता है. Gana, right? Because that is the only thing which he can do. They can put tape on its beak also, na? So he can only let the world know that he is going through this pain through his songs, and that's the only reason why he sings. These two stanzas are clear? Okay. So what do you understand by a free bird? White Americans, you can give answer, that's okay. White Americans. And caged bird? Black Americans or Afro-Americans, right? Okay. Third stanza. The caged bird sings with fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. Means the caged bird, it is still singing. In which way it is singing? How it is singing? कैसे गाना गा रहा है? हाँ? Fearful trill. What is trill? Trill is painful sound. क्यों उसका sound painful है? Because वो caged है. उसके पास opportunities भी नहीं है, उसके पास जगह भी नहीं है move करने के लिए, वो move भी नहीं कर पा रहा है. So obviously he is in agony, or it is in agony, and due to which it is singing but with fear. He is afraid of something. But still, though he doesn't know what it's to be like outside, तो उसको पता नहीं outside में वो अगर जाएगा तो कैसा feel होगा, but he wants to go, he still wants to go. And from somewhere distant in the hill, means in literal sense, from somewhere out there somebody is listening, and his tune is heard on the distant hill. Means the black Americans, the Afro-Americans are now talking about their agony. They are being vocal of them getting tortured, and somewhere, according to them or according to this poem, somewhere it's been heard, somewhere that Afro-Americans are trying to ask for freedom, because they have all the rights to be free. Nobody is supposed to be a slave in this world. So if somebody is just by force putting you to be, or making you a slave, would you take it for a long time? Did we take it as Indians? 200 years, 190 years to be precise. We were colonized by Britishers, but did we take it? Ultimately what happened? They had to free us. The similar way, the Afro-Americans were also tortured. They were not allowed to speak. So in this distance, some way or the others, from somewhere, whatever the Afro-Americans are trying to convey or say, that we are in great trauma, we are not able to take it. So somebody is hearing. That's their hope. Somebody is hearing, right? For the caged bird sings of freedom. So the Afro-Americans are singing for their freedom, and that is how it's been heard in the long distant hill, means somewhere. Next stanza. The free bird thinks of another breeze. The free bird, he is thinking of another breeze. What is another breeze? Another breeze is nothing. When a bird is free, have you ever seen the birds? You guys have seen birds which fly very high, and they can change their wings. Do you know they change their wings? Wings, matlab, samajh lo, they are flying above 3,000 feet. Now, if they go to 6,000 feet or something, the overall atmosphere or the wind changes. So he is flying in some wind, and he is now trying to go to another wind. Why do you think it's possible? Possible क्यों है उसके लिए? Anybody?
He is not in a cage.
Of course, because he has given the opportunity to fly, so he can experiment. He can go from this wind, he can transit to another wind, right? अगर उसको तुम खोल के ही नहीं छोड़ोगे तो जा पाएगा कोई? Forget about wind. He cannot even spread its wings. So what would he do? He will simply sit and cry. So that is the kind of pressure which he is going under, and that is why it's very metaphorically told that the free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. So that means when the white Americans are given the opportunities, जब white Americans को opportunity मिला, वो लोग लिए वो opportunity, उनका use किया opportunity का, एक जगह से दूसरे जगह पे और अच्छे से use किया वो opportunities का. Fat worms are nothing but whatever the sky has to offer. मतलब ऊपर से अगर देखेगा तो कहीं पे भी खाना दिख जाएगा तो वो खाएगा कि नहीं खाएगा? केज बर्ड को क्या करना पड़ता है? तुम खिलाओगे तभी वो खाएगा, तुम खिलाओगे तभी वो खाएगा. अगर नहीं खिलाओगे तो वो क्या करेगा? खा पाएगा? नहीं खा पाएगा. क्या करेगा? भूखा रहेगा. So the slaves, the Afro-Americans are like caged bird. तो उसको खिलाओगे तो भी वो खाएगा, उसको कुछ दोगे तभी वो खा सकता है. He is dependent on you. The Afro-Americans are dependent on the white Americans, but the white Americans are not dependent on the Afro-Americans because they have limitless opportunities. तो वो आसमान में कहीं पे भी जा सकता है, वो बर्ड की तरह, फ्री बर्ड की तरह कहीं पे भी घूम सकता है, कुछ भी मिला उसको खा सकता है, कोई भी अपॉर्चुनिटी मिला उसको यूज कर सकता है white Americans. But for the Afro-Americans it is not like that. He doesn't have any opportunity. उसको जो मिलेगा, उसको जो दिया जाएगा वही उसको खाना पड़ेगा. जो अपॉर्चुनिटी उसको मिलेगा वही काम करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि तुम्हारे पास कोई अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं है और दूसरा काम करने के लिए. अंडरस्टूड? सो अगर मैं काम कर पाऊंगा तभी तो मैं एक्सेल कर पाऊंगा, अगर मैं एक्सेल करूंगा, ग्रो करूंगा तभी तो मुझे लोग जानेंगे, पहचानेंगे. बट देन अगर मैं काम ही नहीं कर पाऊंगा, मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं दोगे तो मैं एक्सेल कैसे करूंगा, ग्रो कैसे करूंगा? सो दैट इज ऑल अबाउट दिस पोएम. सो the white Americans are given all the opportunities, everything, but the black Americans, as in the Afro-Americans, are not given any opportunities. They are being kept as slaves. Understood? Now, but a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. This particular two lines are very, very important. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams means केज बर्ड के भी तो कोई ड्रीम होगा ना, वो ड्रीम करता है मैं भी एक दिन उड़ूंगा, मैं भी एक दिन उड़ान लूँगा, मैं भी ऊपर जाऊँगा एक दिन, अच्छे से घूमूंगा, बट उसका क्या है वो, व्हाट इज इट, ड्रीम्स। तो वो ड्रीम करते करते वो बस उसके ड्रीम जो है दोज आर ऑलरेडी डेड, तो उस डेड ड्रीम के ऊपर वो खड़ा होके वो क्या कर सकता है, उसका शैडो भी चिल्ला रहा है, बिकॉज नाउ ही इज नॉट गेटिंग एनी मोर ड्रीम्स, बिकॉज ही इज केज्ड, he doesn't have any more dreams. What does he get? Now only nightmare comes because of the torture, because of the agony which he is going through. His legs are tied, his wings he can't spread, he can only so many days, he is only singing, means he is only letting people know that I am not in a good state. And now after days after days his dreams are shattered. He is standing on the pile of those dead dreams and he is now only able to see nightmares. Those dreams are turned into nightmares. Nightmares मतलब बुरा सपना, right? अभी वो सपना आ रहा है कि जो सपना आ रहा है वो क्या है, नाइटमेयर है उसके लिए. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied. From the second stanza, if you see, his wings are clipped and his feet are tied. So he opens his throat to sing. तो उसको कुछ नहीं करने दिया जा रहा है, तो ऑब्वियसली उसको बोलना पड़ेगा, और वही वो कर रहा है. वो he is only singing because he can't do anything else. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill. Caged bird बहुत डर के अभी सिर्फ गाना गा रहा है और कुछ नहीं कर पा रहा है. Of the things unknown, जो चीज़ वो देखा नहीं उसके बारे में गाना गा रहा है. For longed but longed for still, मतलब फिर भी उसके कहीं पे भी उसका कुछ उसको होप है कि शायद मेरे साथ अच्छा होगा, एक दिन मैं केज से निकल जाऊंगी और मैं भी खुले आसमान में उड़ूंगी और मैं भी वही सारे अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ लूँगी जो वो लोग ले रहे हैं. कौन ले रहा है? फ्री बर्ड ले रहा है. इन लिटरल सेंस the Afro-American is thinking that I will also be given opportunities like the white American some or the other day. So let me protest, let me sing, let the world know that we are in sufferings. और and his tune is heard. तो उसका जो song है, मतलब Afro-American का जो बात है वो अभी सुनने में आ रहा है, कोई सुन रहा है उनका बात. On the distant hill, कोई तो बहुत दूर से सुन रहा है, डिस्टेंट हिल से. For the caged bird sings of freedom. So caged bird मतलब यहाँ पे Afro American freedom के लिए बोल रहा है. That is the poem all about. Clear? Doubts? No doubts? Fine. Thank you.